The chaplain is out of the jurisdiction attending a conference in Washington, D.C. So at this time, I call on the honorable member for Michael to lead us in prayer.
A prayer for peace. Teach us your way, O Lord, that we may walk in your truth. And you have taught us to pray. Our Father, join in. Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Brent Simonet, Desmond Bannister, Renwood Wells, Jeffrey Lloyd, Dr. Dwayne Sands, Marvin Dane, Frankie Campbell, Dionisio Diagula, Michael Pintar, Darren Henfield, Romuald Ferrera, Lanisha Rowles, Frenzel Rowles, Ellsworth Johnson, Philip Davis, Ron Miller, Patricia Parker Edstrom, Iram Lewis, Carlton Bowleg, James Aubrey, Travis Robinson, Adrian Gibson, Donald Saunders, Frederick McAlpine, Hank Johnson, Mark Humes, Michael Folk, Miriam Reckley Emmanuel, Reese Tipman, Reuben Rami, Ricky Mackey, Shannon Dawn Cartwright, Charnel Ferguson, Glenys Hanna-Martin, Fico Forbes, Chester Cooper.
Honorable members, acting in accordance with the Rule 88.4, the Speaker's discretion, and Rule 88.9 of the Rule Book in my possession, on the 31st of January 2008, the member for Angliston was named and suspended. It is the view of the Chair that the member for Angliston acted in a grossly disorderly and disrespectful manner and was in breach of all 5 subsections of Rule 88.4. The Rule 88.4 states, if a member has persistently and willfully obstructed the business of the House, misconducted herself in a grossly disorderly manner, use objectionable words which she has refused to withdraw, persistently and willfully refuse to conform with the rules, or persistently and willfully disregarded the authority of the Chair, he may be suspended or named and suspended by the Speaker if any of the above offenses has been committed. If the offense has been committed by a member in the House, the Speaker shall forthwith put the question on a motion being made, no amendment, adjournment, or debate being allowed, that the member be suspended from the service of the House. I now, as I indicated on the 31st of January, the Speaker indicated at that time, named and suspended the member, and indicated at that time that the question would be put at the next sitting of this Parliament, which is today. On the instance of the 31st of January 2018, pursuant to Black's Law Dictionary, 8th edition, the definition of the word forthwith, meaning within reasonable time, under the circumstances, and pursuant to Rule 88.9, no question need necessarily be put, the House continued its business unadjourned. As indicated on that occasion, the member for Angleston was named and suspended, and the House would determine the period of the suspension. The chair recommends that the member for Angleston be suspended for 2 consecutive sittings of the House. In accordance with the provision of Rule 88, the question is now put to this Honorable House to determine the duration of that period. The chair recognizes the Honorable Member for Bamboo Town.
Mr. Speaker.
The chair recognizes the Honorable Member for Bamboo Town.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the rules of this House, Mr. Speaker, I move the motion, Mr. Speaker, that Ms. Glenys Hanna-Martin be suspended from the service of this House, and that the question on that motion be put forthwith to this honorable chambers.
Is there a seconder? It has been moved and seconded that the member for Angleston, Glenys Hanna-Martin, be suspended from this House for 2 consecutive sittings of this chamber. As many as are in favor will remain seated. Those who oppose will rise. The member for Angleston stands suspended for 2 consecutive sittings of this Parliament. Honorable member, take your seat. I am at the point of communications by the Speaker. You will be given an opportunity to speak. Honorable member, as I indicated, I am at the point of communication by the Speaker. Your point, you would have an opportunity when, as soon as I am completed with my statement. Honorable member, the chair recognizes the honorable member for Bamboo Town.
In this honorable chamber, Mr. Speaker, and we are all considered. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the floor.
Honorable member, honorable member,
He has
honorable member for Bamboo Town. Honorable member for Bamboo Town, resume your seat. Let me continue with my presentation. And all members of this chamber who wish to address this matter are welcome to do so upon the completion of my statement. Now, as we embark on this season of love, I am reminded of First Corinthians. I'm reminded of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own. It is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. But I'm also guided by the 10 Commandments and the tough love of God. As we set down the 10 Commandments, as God set down the 10 Commandments and the principles and precepts, it is therefore time for tough love. I will begin my remarks by referring to the intervention by the retired clerk of this Parliament. When I made the statement that I do not trust anyone until they have earned my trust, several persons quickly misconstrued that remark to imply an attack on the staff of this Parliament. Nothing can be further from the truth. As God would have it, within days of making that statement, the retired clerk of this Parliament seemed to be having difficulty with his retirement and dealing with his retirement and staying out of the affairs of this Parliament, showed his true colors and provided the needed evidence to justify my statements, and in the process vindicated the position that trust should be earned. Under the guise of concern for the staff of this institution, the retired clerk, in an apparently politically motivated broadside attack, has justified my statement that trust must be earned. You see, Mr. Retired Clerk, newness is what the doctor ordered to clean up the pus and oozing wounds brought about by contaminated and corrupt thinking in this Parliament. Newness and not maintenance of the status quo is what is required for transformational healing, accountability, transparency, and the advancement of this institution. You know, interestingly, I thought that the clerk of this Parliament, the retired clerk, was my friend. I remember when I was in third-party politics as leader of the Bahamian Freedom Alliance, the BFA, the retired clerk would call me all the time and provide me with material to attack the Ingram administration. His advice almost caused the former Prime Minister to sue me. At the time, I thought that he was championing the cause for good governance and democracy. But as he was only trying, it appears now that he was only trying to help the PLP, as he seemed to be doing today, while also attacking and hopefully soon the soon to be confirmed clerk of the Parliament. Honorable members for the leader of the opposition, the member for Rumkey, Cat Island, and San Salvador, the member for South and Central Andros, and the member for Exuma and Ragged Island. Have your seat. Pursuant to Rule 8, pursuant to Rule 88.3, the Speaker now orders that the 3 members withdraw from this Parliament and are not eligible to enter this Parliament again for the next 2 sittings. And let the record reflect that under Rule 88.3, there is no requirement that any question be put or that any motion be given or be taken. Now, as I had the opportunity of working with the apparently troubled retired clerk from the time of coming to office from May 24th through the 31st of August 2017. All I can say at this time is thank God for attrition. Imagine trusting, working, and relying on the advice of someone who has now publicly expressed his innermost feelings and the kind of political venom directed at the Speaker in a letter to the editor. Thank you very much, Mr. Retired Clerk. May your soul rest in peace. But before I leave this matter, let me say that I have reviewed video recordings of the House of Assembly on the occasion when Dr. Hubert Minnis was named and suspended. No doubt, based on the elucidated advice of the retired clerk for refusing to withdraw remarks. The retired clerk is making a fuss in the media about the action of the Speaker and not the behavior of the suspended member for Angleston. In contrast, his silence was deafening with respect to the naming and suspension of the Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Hubert Minnis, as he then was. My actions in this instance was within the rules, and the record would reflect that it was not unprecedented in that Dr. Minnis was named and suspended. No vote, no question was put, and no motion was put until 2 weeks later. Now, interestingly, when questioned by the media on which rule was relied on for the suspension of the member for Angleston, and I indicated that the Speaker was authorized by Rule 88.3 to order the withdrawal of a member, as I just did, and by Rule 88.4 for naming and suspending a member. Upon review, it was pointed out to me that the rule book in my possession appeared to be different from the rule book in the possession of the media personnel. That discovery aroused my curiosity and refreshed my memory of the very early period of my tenure as Speaker, when I was quoting from the rule of procedure in Parliament handed to me by the retired clerk. And the member for Cat Island at that time made inquiries of the chair because he was unable to locate the rule in the book that he had. Yesterday, I discovered 3 versions of the 2005 Rules of Procedure of the Honorable House of Assembly. And I hold these 3 rule books. These are the 3 rule books that I discovered yesterday. Mr. Cameraman, zoom in on this. The books have different numbering for the rules, and some books have more numbered rules than others. Time did not permit discovery of whether there were substantive material changes in the books and whether the Rules Committee had met since 2005 and thereby authorized such changes that appear in these rule books. So I just need to know, and I hereby table the 3 rule books that I discovered to have such grave, in my estimation, differences. None of those books appear to be signed. Can I have a look at them again? Let me just say for the record. It lists the members of the Rules Committee. It indicates that it is dated 2005. All books seem to just simply list the members of the Rules Committee and indicate that the books were signed in 2005. None of them are signed. I just need to know, as Speaker, how in the retired clerk's perfect world of flawless administration and offering accurate, correct, and apolitical advice to my predecessors did the Parliament end up with multiple distinctly different printed and published versions of the rules of procedure. So as not to be accused of ambushing anyone with the truth. These suspicious circumstances resulting from simple observational analysis has prompted the Speaker to order an inquiry into the meetings of the Rules Committee, the instructions given for reprinting of the rules, and the source of the authority for the apparent and actual manifested differences in the published versions of the rules. This inquiry will cover the period 2003 to 2017. Perhaps the retired clerk of this Parliament should be more concerned with bringing clarity to this matter, as opposed to seemingly being absorbed with the hope that this institution fail in his absence. I just want to take you quickly through the chronology of the events leading up to the suspension of the member for Angleston. And I also intend to table these documents. On the 8th of June, now this Speaker came to this seat on the 24th of May, 2017. By the 8th of June, the 100 transcript shows the member for Angleston attempting to speak twice on a matter during the debate. The objection was taken by the member for Carmichael. The member disrespecting the chair by interrupting the Speaker, or disrespected the chair by interrupting the Speaker on several occasions. On the 13th of June, the Tribune reported, Ms. Virgil, the reporter, indicated that Davis and Hanna-Martin questioned the Speaker ruling on sending the matter to the Committee for Privilege. Now, I must remind you at this stage that if there is a grievance with any decision or rule or order by the Speaker, the procedure is by way of motion to question any decision of the Speaker, not by way of debating the Speaker from your position and interrupting the Speaker contrary to the rules, which states that the Speaker must be heard in silence. On the 15th of June, the Hansard records again indicate that the member for Angleston on more than 9 occasions attempted or requested and demanded that the member for Fort Charlotte provide evidence or withdraw unsubstantiated claims. The member for Fort Charlotte did the honorable thing and withdrew the claim. On the 19th of June, again, the member for Angleston makes incorrect allegations on remarks by the member for Central Grand Bahama. On the 20th of June, the member for Angleston, again, made incorrect allegations by asserting that the member for Marco City said something that the hands of the record proved the member did not say. On the 27th of September 2017, the Nassau Guardian, in a report by Travis Cartwright Carroll, headline, "The Speaker threatens to suspend Hanna-Martin." That was the headline. All of these documents will be tabled. January 24th, 2018, seems like the only time the chair was under attack was during the summer break. January 24, 2018, the member for Angleston interrupted the chair on several occasions. I will lodge and table all of the records and provide the press also with these documents, and having done so, allow you to be the judge. On the 24th of January, I have recorded here that the member for Angleston said, "Whether you rule or not, I will not withdraw. That is what I meant." On the 31st of January, the member indicated to the Speaker, "I am not withdrawing, Mr. Speaker. You can be free to do whatever you want." I now wish to table the documents, the package, with the videotape. These are the videos. Yeah, no, they're different. I wish now to table the documents that I just made reference to, and the other one. And the DVD video recordings of the proceedings of Parliament on the 24th of January 2018, and it's difficult to read, on the 31st of January 2018. Now, I wish just to bring to the attention of this chamber, the gallery, and the general public, that the Bahamian people, excluding the Speaker, gave the governing party a 34-4 majority in this Parliament. That works out to approximately 8-1. For every 8 Free National Movement member, there's 1 PLP member. The chair is of the view that if the rules are strictly and narrowly enforced, the public will likely not hear from the official opposition for weeks. So in the interest of democracy, the Speaker has exercised his discretion in a way so as to permit the opposition to be heard even when points of order and privilege are not well taken, as earlier this morning. Obviously, the Speaker's generosity has not been well received or appreciated. The member for Angleston, who seemed to think that she is entitled, has taken to the social media accusing the Speaker of trying to silence her, when the undisputable, irrefutable, incontrovertible evidence reveals that she has been the most vociferous member and has been permitted by the chair to speak even when points of order are not well taken, and she has been the greatest beneficiary of the chair's generosity in exercising its discretion for the extension of time allotted for debates. The member for Angleston has been the beneficiary of a 10-minute extension, while no other member in this Parliament has received an extension of more than 3 minutes. But evidently, the member for Angleston feels entitled to more. The final matter I intend to deal with is this allegation against the chair and against me personally, that somehow, because the Speaker has taken this position, the Speaker is a hater of women. Another unparliamentary statement that if the chair wishes can result in the suspension of the member who made those remarks. The PLP leader's allegation by the Speaker is a classic gutter politics and a complete disrespect of our women, whom he insidiously purports to be uplifting. This is a grossly transparent political attempt to exploit the intelligence and emotion of Bahamian women and to undermine the office of the Speaker and thereby bring the institution of the Parliament of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas into disrepute. One would have thought that the failed referendum and the 2 recent political leadership races were ample lessons that our Bahamian women are not fools. I cry shame on the member for Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador. Ordinarily, I would not respond to such nonsense. But the honorable member, and I wish he was still present so I can address him directly, he has provoked the chair and forced the chair to defend my integrity. While I can give you more than 90 reasons why the member for Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador allegation is absurd, absolutely absurd, I shall confine my response to the fact that I am married to a beautiful and wonderfully made Baintown woman. for the past 38 years. And I want to emphasize to the member for Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador that my wife is an indigenous Bahamian woman. And that I have had, over those 38 years, no reason for divorce. Our marriage has been touted by the church, marriage groups, and by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as a model love affair. And as a husband, I have been deemed a role model of how husbands should love and treat their wives. And the member for Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador, he is fully aware of past encounters with myself, that I do not have a track record of hating women. You know, the member for Cat Island, Rumpke, and San Salvador and I have a mutual best friend. And if the member had consulted our best friend on this matter, I'm sure he would have been advised not to leave that part and to leave this matter alone. Notwithstanding, the member has allowed, in my estimation, reprobates and perverts with track records of denying and hating women to incite such a ludicrous assertion into his press release. My name might begin with M, but the first three letters are M-O-U and not M-I-T. Don't mix me up. I am not a soft powder puff man. I am a real man. And while I may not be able to engage in the debate, I am certainly permitted to defend my integrity. I love my wife, an indigenous Bain and Grandstown woman, and I highly cherish and respect all women. But I happen also to agree with King Solomon in Proverbs 21 and 19. It says, what it says to the effect is, it is better to live in the desert to live in the home with a quarrelsome woman. I'm arriving at the end. The DVD recordings of the broadcast of the Parliamentary Channel may not be the official records of Parliament, but Rule 89.1, depending on which one of the rule books you might have, provides that the broadcasting of House proceedings shall present a dignified, accurate, and consistent image of the House and committee proceedings. It is this Speaker's intention to advance this Parliament and to bring its infrastructure and technology in line with other modern parliaments in our Commonwealth. In so doing, and to discourage any insidious attempt by members to steal headlines while we wait for the Hansard record to be transcribed, the Chair will be proposing the introduction of instant replay, similar to the NBA and the NFL and the Cyclops of the WTA, so that when members abuse or act ultra-virus the rules, commit flagrant violations, fumble the point of order or the point of privilege, or even when the call on the field by the chair may be challenged and changed, that there is no lag, no gaps, and no more, as the Hansard records reflect, an honorable member's remark is inaudible. Finally, the chair wishes to assure all members that the chair will defend the ancient privileges of this parliament, especially the privilege of freedom of speech, notwithstanding that we are governed and constrained by rules, and the chair will maintain order and enforce the rules. In conclusion, let me assure all members that it is not a personal matter for me. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And as a believer and an ordained minister, I am guided by Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The decorum, dignity, and fidelity of this parliament will be maintained. All principalities, darkness, and wickedness will be withdrawn, expunged, suspended, and driven out by expulsion. And members, I advise you to govern yourselves accordingly. Now, as this matter is of such a serious nature, I now wish to invite all members to speak, or now or forever be governed and guided by the peace that this day will bring. The chair recognizes